Good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon po Ma'am Rosel. Today, I will talk about the comparative study of educational system of Saudi Arabia and Philippines. The education system in Saudi Arabia is well structured by the government that helps reduce the illiteracy level in the country. When the kingdom was established in 1932, education was available to very few people. Over the years, education has improved to a point where all students had to go to school from the primary level to secondary level for free. The system of education in Saudi Arabia is administered by three government organizations: the Ministry of Higher Education, the General Organization for Technical Educational and Vocational Training, and the Ministry of Education. Public education is available to the entire population at no cost and is organized into primary, middle, and secondary levels. Kindergarten and preschool studies are voluntary and enrollment depends on the parents. Attendance at this level is not mandated by the government. Children join primary school at 6 years old. The program lasts for 6 years, and at the final year, the pupils have to take a final examination. Students who pass the final examination have a choice of proceeding to the next level or not. After completing and passing primary education, children enroll into the intermediate level that lasts for 3 years. After intermediate education, students join secondary school. Secondary school is divided into two: the general type and the specialized secondary. The general type, also known as regular secondary education, here the students study generally for 1 year, and on the second year, they choose a major to focus on. While in specialized secondary, in this type of education, the program prepares students in technical skills to improve labor force. Saudi Arabia borrowed its education model from Egyptian education system. The school administration system is in 3 parts, and they are the education for the girls, the general education for the boys, and the Islamic tradition for the boys or men in the country. The education system in Saudi Arabia has separated both male and female, in which girls go to female schools and boys go to male schools. The system of education in Saudi Arabia is under the Ministry of Education, especially for boys, while the girls' education is under the General Presidency for the girls' education. The Islamic education for men is used to prepare them for the religious clergy or the ulema. The ulema training begins in secondary schools, and boys must learn to memorize and interpret the Quran. Educational system in Saudi Arabia is discriminated by sex. The Islamic culture does not value education for girls as they are seen as marriage objects. Although male and female are separated, there is no difference in the exams issued on the curriculum used for teaching. The purpose of this division is to prevent or limit the level of intimacy between students in respect to the Islamic teaching. Despite the government intervention to help the girls in terms of education, culture influenced by Islamic religion is responsible for the high dropouts for girls in school. This is because girls drop out of schools is due to enter into a forced marriage. School curriculum is based on Islamic beliefs, and study of Islam remains at its core. The incorporation of Islam in the curriculum is meant to minimize the cases of indiscipline, thus strengthen brotherhood, respect, and harmony. Philippine education system. The government agencies or 3 government agencies handled each level of education in the Philippines. First is the DepEd, the CHED, and the TESDA. Education is compulsory in kindergarten and grade 1 to 12. And it is grouped into 3 levels: the elementary school, junior high school, and senior high school. And since we are all familiar with our own educational system, so I will not discuss it further. Educational system of Saudi Arabia versus the Philippines. In Saudi Arabia, they have the 6+3+3 system. So in the Philippines, we have the K-12 educational system. So in Saudi Arabia, a typical school year runs from September through June. So in the Philippines, classes start in June and end in March. In Saudi Arabia, kindergarten attend according to wish. So in the Philippines, kindergarten is compulsory. In Saudi Arabia, the system does not include English until the 7th grade, and thus students are not able to master fluency in English. Unlike in the Philippines, at the early as kindergarten, English language is already introduced. In Saudi Arabia, school curriculum is based on Islamic beliefs. In the Philippines, we have the K-12 curriculum. In Saudi Arabia, they are not giving the women the opportunity to study the courses of their choice. While in the Philippines, women has the freedom to choose any courses she likes. Both children in Philippines and Saudi Arabia starts education between the age of 3 to 5 years. But in Saudi Arabia, education system does not give much concentration on early childhood education because it is not a requirement when enrolling in primary school. Unlike in the Philippines, kindergarten is compulsory and it is a prerequisite to enter first grade. Both children in Saudi Arabia and Philippines join primary school at 6 years old. In Saudi Arabia, boys and girls study in separate classrooms. Boys and girls have the same curriculum and take the same yearly exams. Boys are given additional education in Islamic teachings and values. In the Philippines, there are also private schools that are exclusively for boys and exclusively for girls. In Saudi Arabia, the students have a choice on which type of secondary education to study. In the Philippines, secondary school consists of 4 lower levels and 2 upper levels, which is called the junior high school and the senior high school. Educational system of both Saudi Arabia and Philippines, I may say, differ in many ways. I think it's because Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country and women in their country has less privilege in terms of education. Women are not given the opportunity to study the courses of their choice. Their education system is segregated and does not teach the students how to interact with members of the opposite sex. They are taught to stay away from one another, and even in the future, the students are unable to interact with members of the opposite. This is because all the activities of religion and education are dictated by one religion. Unlike in the Philippines, where freedom strikes anywhere, that Philippine education system has plenty of opportunity for students regardless of sex to get an education. And that's all. Thank you.